Hello, and you are very welcome to my Monday messages. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rebecca, and I use QTT personal development methods, coaching, mentoring, and homeopathy to help you and your family to be as healthy and as happy as you can be and stay that way. So my Monday messages, which are every Monday, 10 o'clock at the moment, they are really to set a theme or a thought or a message for the week, really, for you to just think about and put in place to help you to feel more relaxed, calmer, more in control of your daily life, and really to follow on from my January video series, which was to help you lead your best life yet, really. So now we're actually into the second month of the year. I'm looking at things that are really quite simple to put in place, but do just need a little bit of thought. And today's theme really came to me because I am in the process at the moment of applying for some funding. And hold on one second, just get rid of that. I'm applying for some funding to help me boost my business and help me make my service to you as user-friendly as possible. And I went along to the funding meeting quite sceptical, really. I kind of thought, well, I'm not sure this is for me. I don't really need help. I'm quite capable. I can find out how to do things myself. And that's pretty much what I've done most of my life, really, is just do what I can myself. And if I don't know how to do something, then I'll find out and I'll get on top of it and I'll do it. And that's kind of where I came from, really, which was just roll your sleeves up and get on with it and do what needs to be done. It's quicker to do it yourself. Don't ask for help because that just makes you seem weak and it makes you seem vulnerable and maybe a bit of a failure. So that's where I came from. I've let go of a lot of the stuff around that, a lot of the negative things around that, I'm glad to say. But just going for that funding meeting in that frame of mind and then discovering that, in fact, the meeting itself was so helpful. Even if I didn't apply for funding, it was just a very, very helpful meeting. And then realising that because as part of it, I have to talk to a lot of different suppliers and I have to get a lot of different quotes in. And the whole process of doing that has made me analyse much more closely how I'm working and whether elements of that are working for me, and why there are certain areas that I'm sort of consistently not happy with. And what it boiled down to when I'd done that analysis was that I wasn't really asking for help. I was still thinking that I had to do it all. And for a while, when I first set up, that is true. You do, as a single business owner, you do have to do it all to a certain extent. But then when you reach a stage where you're kind of tipping along and things aren't really moving, that's the time to have a look and think, well, where could I go to actually get the help that I need to take it to the next level? And that applies to absolutely everything. And I think that many of us as women are so used to doing everything and never asking for help. And it doesn't really serve us very well. There's lots of aspects to asking for help that are actually really empowering, both to us and the people that we're asking help of. I don't know how many of you have adolescent kids, young adults basically, who are just learning how to take on some extra responsibility. It's so lovely if you can actually say, instead of saying, okay, these are your chores, this is what you've got to do, or, I want you to do this, do this. It's much, much more empowering to actually be able to, as their parents, to be able to say, I really need some help here, and I'd like you to do X, Y, and Z. Because what you're communicating is, number one, that you're a human being, that you're vulnerable, just like them, that you need the help of other people. It makes you softer, it makes you more approachable. And also, it actually says to them, wow, mum's trusting me enough that she's asking for my help. That can make that young adult feel pretty good. And I should add that if you're going to do that, then, and this is the same with anybody actually, when you're asking favours and support from family members and friends, then it's important, particularly with teenagers, to accept again. So I hope that you can hear me and see me. Maybe you could send me a thumbs up or something to just let me know that you can hear me, because I'm having a little bit of connection problems today, probably the tail end of the storm. Anyway, I'll carry on. So yes, it's about asking for help can actually be empowering for you, and it can be empowering certainly for a teenager being asked to help. Much nicer to be approached and asked to help somebody rather than being told, you got to do this. I think if I'm told you do this, that makes me want to go, well, why should I do that? Why should I do that? Whereas if somebody says, I really need your help, can you help? I'm immediately in a place where I'm going to go, of course I can help you. Of course I'll help you. So it's a much more productive way to communicate for a start. But also, wanting to do everything ourselves is often just about having control. And ultimately, we don't have control over everything. I used to think that it was a failing to admit that I wasn't good at everything. I mean, I know as women we are pretty good at most things, but we don't need to do everything ourselves. It's much easier and much more productive to recognise where we can actually delegate and where we can actually save time, actually, and a lot of energy by actually asking for someone else's help. Now, obviously, in a business perspective, that's often paid help. And that's a balance, and you just have to work that out individually as to whether it's actually going to be worth paying a little bit of money that you maybe hadn't factored for to get a job well done. And often that will free up your headspace and your creativity for the more important jobs, the jobs that actually only you can do. Whereas a lot of the admin stuff, which is where I'm kind of spending a disproportionate amount of time, if you like, they can be done much better by either having somebody teach me how to set up alternative systems, or by actually subcontracting some aspects out myself. And it really does free up space for me to actually do the important things, which is to be with my clients and to think about the strategy of my business and all of those things. But you can employ the same principles on a day-to-day basis just at home. If you're having a really busy week, ask for help from your family or from whoever that you're sharing space with. It's okay to say, listen, I'm good at loads of things, actually. I'm really good at loads of things, but I'm not good at everything. And I know that you are better at this than I am. So I would really appreciate it if you could help me this week by, I don't know, whatever it is, walking the dog, loading or unloading the dishwasher, washing up, cooking a meal, helping you to clean the house, all of those domestic things. you can get help with. There's no reason why one able-bodied adult in a household of, maybe 3, 4 plus should be doing all of those chores, because it takes up a disproportionate amount of time. With your relationships with partners, it doesn't matter what kind of partnership you have in terms of whether it's female to female, male to male, male to female. We are all made up of both male and female energy. And most women, when they're under stress, and I include myself in that, go into a very masculine way of doing things, very masculine energy. So the balance kind of gets tipped. And if I'm talking to my partner, my husband in this case, in that energy, it's literally coming head to head with his male energy. And, when we think about male animals locking horns, that's literally what happens, and neither of us come out of it very well. Whereas if I can actually soften what I'm trying to get done or what I'm trying to communicate by asking for his help, by recognizing his skills, I'm immediately coming from a much more feminine energy, if you like, and he therefore is going to be able to respond in what is to him a more natural energy state, which is male energy, and that is to be helpful, to support, and to show love in that energy. So it's going to be a much more productive way of communicating. So that's another bonus of asking for help. I think also that, if it is very, very difficult for you to ask for help, and that can be for a number of different reasons. It can be, stemming from your childhood, from, the way that you run your life up till now. And sometimes you can need help with releasing feelings around that, or being able to actually say, I need help. So I would advise that if that is bringing up really, really difficult feelings, then do have a look at working with somebody who can help you get through that. Obviously, I can offer that. And if you're interested in working and knowing more about working with me one-to-one, then do pop onto my website, RebeccaAtkinson.com, and the address is in the post below this video or around this video. But if you're struggling, but you kind of feel, I can start small, then do that. Just spend this week. I really encourage you to see what you can do to just ask for help. Even if it's just, can you lay the table tonight? Or can you unload the dishwasher? It's going to just take a little bit of practice. So that's my thought for the week, really. It's about asking for help and recognizing that can be both empowering for you because it's going to free up time for you. It's going to enable you to actually be more productive than you thought you were. And it just softens us all. It softens us and says, do you know what? I'm a human being. I'm not Superwoman. And actually living with Superwoman can be pretty hard sometimes. Even living with yourself, if you are so used to doing everything yourself and doing it really, really well, where does that stop? We don't have to be good at absolutely everything. It's enough that we're good at the things we are good at. And yes, we can use those sort of feelings to drive us forward and learn more about things that we didn't think that we'd be able to master. So that's the positive side of it. But the balance can get tipped if we don't recognise that we can delegate. We can actually say, can you help me, please? So I will leave you with that thought. Let me just check. If you have any questions, please pop them in. I'd be happy to answer them. And if you're watching this on replay, then obviously it's not too late. I would really love to hear well, first of all, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at asking for help? So if you just want to just pop that in one of the comment boxes below, that would be interesting. If you have any good experiences over the week of asking for help, then or maybe unexpected experiences, then I'd love to hear about them. I mean, one of the things that actually came up for me while I was doing this funding process is in speaking to potential suppliers. I've actually just been so blown away by how helpful people have been and the offers of help that are there, even if I don't get the funding. Most of the suppliers have come up with really helpful ways of possibly working together that don't necessarily even include money. Many of the suppliers themselves proposed a bartering system, a bartering of skills, which is fabulous. So that's another thing that can come out of asking for help. It doesn't have to even actually involve money. So I would encourage you to do that. So let me just check that I've covered everything off that I wanted to say. Yeah, it's... Yeah, two things really. One was that obviously if you are asking for help, that you are receiving that help with gratitude. And that I think I touched on earlier that the manner in which a job might be done will be different from the way you do it. What's important is that the job has been done. Obviously, if you're wanting to encourage somebody to continue helping you, then being critical of what they have done and the way that they've done it is not really going to encourage them to want to help you again. So just have it's what I like about asking for help is that it really is the most successful when it's framed in an attitude of gratitude, basically, that you're just incredibly grateful for anything that anyone can do to help you. And so if you have that in your head when you're asking for the help, then I think that will change what you get back. So what else? And yeah, just that male-female energy in your relationships, your intimate relationships, that can be very destructive if you're constantly going off into too much of one energy or another. We all need to be in balance and have a bit of male and a bit of female. And depending on your predominant energy, that can be slightly more male than female or the other way around. But if you go too much, so you're kind of 80% male or 80% female, and you're dealing with somebody who is in the same energy, you're just going to lock horns and it's not going to be very productive. So that's something to bear in mind. I think that's probably it. So enjoy your week. Do practice asking for help. And do let me know how you get on. I would really, really like to hear. And I will be putting up my posts for this week and my social media messaging, supporting asking for help and giving you some more ideas, I hope. So I look forward to seeing you again, 10 o'clock next Monday for my Monday messages. And do get in touch, meantime, if you need to book a consultation or you want to make a comment or you want to ask a question. If you go onto the website, then you can book a free call with me and we can have a chat about how I might be able to help you. Thanks very much for watching and for listening. Have a lovely day.